Rep the South Side whenever you pay with your White Sox debit card from Wintrust Community Banks and score perks like free ATMs, no monthly fees, and a $300 opening bonus. Pay with pride every time with Wintrust, Chicago's bank.
Hey everyone, it's Chuck Garfien. Welcome to the White Sox podcast. It is brought to you, as always, by our great friends at Wintrust, Chicago's bank. Show your team pride with a White Sox debit card. You can get yours at wintrust.com/Sox, member FDIC, EHL lender. All right, it might be cold in Chicago, but I thought I'd warm things up here on the podcast. Actually, I'm not warming it up. You are, because I asked for some White Sox hot takes for 2026, and you guys once again delivered. And it's not just me talking about your hot takes. I've got Brooke Fletcher, White Sox field reporter, with me here, and we got a lot of great stuff to talk about because White Sox fans brought the hot takes.
Well, and not only the hot takes, a lot of positive hot takes. We love to see that. I think fans, we're getting closer to spring training here. We love the moves that the White Sox made this offseason, so I'm excited to go through them with you, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, we got ones on Colson Montgomery. I'm going to talk Murakami, Luis Robert Jr., Braden Montgomery, etc., and we even have a White Sox fan who made an incredible bet that could win him over $100,000. That is not a hot take. That is a scorching hot take. We got a whole bunch of them. It is coming your way with Brooke Fletcher and me. Let's do it. All right, Brooke, spring training, I got it right here, is in less than a month.
Yeah.
Opening day, less than 75 days away. I'm getting excited. Are you?
Pitchers and catchers, they report, I think, the time we are taping this podcast, exactly 1 month from today. So I'm excited. This offseason, it flew by, but a lot of exciting things surrounding the team. Chris Getz and his crew, they were busy. But when you talked about the hot takes here, everybody's feeling really positive, the fan base, because we were saying there were no negative, but that's a good thing.
If I did a hot take podcast a year ago, it would be ice cold. I mean, they'd be scorching hot, but they would be very negative.
Right.
And rightfully so, considering they were coming off the season that they were. But this is a very, very positive addition. But what I'd like to do is be positive and be realistic.
Yes, that's why we're here.
So we will, I'm not saying we're going to, be negative, but I think we need to show some realism to some of these hot takes because there are some very, very excited White Sox fans out there.
And I will say the timing in which we tweeted out,
Yes.
give us your hot takes. It was the day after the Bears had that huge playoff win. Fans, they're seeing what the Bears are doing, and they're like, you know what? I can see some positivity towards the White Sox this season. You're telling me there's a chance, and I love it.
Yeah, so we will get to all of these, or I should say most of them, because if I did all of them, we'd be here for several hours. Mm-hmm. But we got some really, really good ones. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. White Sox hot takes. Starting with 𝗙cie Sox fan Mike, and his hot take, he's got 5 of them. 5. Murakami hits 35 home runs. Hot take. Grant Taylor's got 30 or more saves. Shane Smith is an all-star again. He has Noah Schultz finishing in the top 5 in Rookie of the Year voting. And on top of it all, he finishes with Pope Leo comes to a game in person and he sits in section 108.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shoot the last one down. I think Pope Leo's a little busy right now doing Pope things. He can pray for the White Sox from afar. Do I think he's going to be coming to a White Sox game? Unless we're in the World Series, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't see Pope Leo making the trip to Chicago.
Yeah, he's not going to a regular season game on a Tuesday against Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Unless he's on a tour.
Okay.
We looked at his schedule. Maybe.
All right. I will say this. If he's coming to Chicago during the White Sox season and their home, I don't want to guarantee it, but I would like to think that Pope Leo, who's from my neck of the woods in the south suburbs, would pay a visit, not only to Guaranteed Rate Field, or now Rate Field, excuse me, maybe the pre- and post-game set with me and 𝗦cie. I mean, come on.
That would be awesome.
And I would love for him to go check out the guys at Section 108. Maybe have a beer with the guys at Section 108.
Spread some holy water out in the outfield.
Yes.
You know, we saw it at the Steelers game. The Pope, yeah, he can come out.
All right, so why don't we do this, Brooke? What is the best chance of happening between these five?
I mean, I think Murakami, the fact that he could, I mean, listen, we saw what he was able to do overseas. That was the appeal. This guy, he has the power, and we're hoping he can bring that to this lineup. We saw him hit 56 homers overseas, but the thing is, and we've talked about this, how will that translate to the big leagues? We paid him, we think he's going to be this guy, but it's a whole different league when you're coming over and playing in Major League Baseball. The pitching it's tougher. You got to make the adjustments here. He also has a high strikeout rate. He does strike out. So do I think he can get to 35 homers? I think so. It's doable if he is the player that we signed.
I see all of these scenarios potentially happening, except 𝗶𝗶 sitting in Section 108. I'm just being honest. Sorry, guys. But what's the best chance of happening? I'll go with what has already happened.
Okay.
Shane Smith made an all-star team already.
Yeah.
So at least we've seen this happen already. So I'll go with that. All right. We got Ashley Sanders. She, like Mike, has 5 hot takes.
We love it.
Colson Montgomery, 100 or more RBIs.
Okay.
Murakami, 30 or more homers. Montgomery and Murakami both making the all-star team. Edgar Quero finishing in the top 5 in batting average for catchers. And she has Braden Montgomery joining the team in May. And she says, looking forward to the pod. Thank you very much, Ashley. Maybe do the same thing. What's most likely to occur in your mind, Brooke, about those 5?
I think the Colson RBI is definitely a thing. I mean, we saw what he was able to do when he got called up to the bigs and the amount of ribbies that he had in the second half of the season. Just imagine what he can do for a full season.
Yeah.
But it also depends. I mean, we know he has the power and he can hit homers here, but you also have to have guys around you get on base, and they got to hit too. It was a little subpar last year. We all were able to witness it here. They were able to turn it on. So I think it depends on where he's hitting in the lineup. The guys, are they producing? So I think it's possible for Colson. Braden Montgomery, I don't think he's going to break camp, but I think he could very much get called up in May. We saw Chase Mydroth. He got called up early in the season. So if Braden performs well at spring training, I think they'll probably see what he can do, in the minors, starting there, getting his feet wet a little bit. I think he could get called up. What do you think, Chuck?
All right, so what are you going with?
So I think that is very doable. I think that's possible.
Braden Montgomery.
Braden Montgomery, yes.
Okay.
That's hard. It's hard. Can I pick
I'm putting you on the spot.
These are two?
No. Listen, these are hot takes.
Braden Montgomery.
These are hot takes, and I'm putting you on the hot seat.
You're right.
So
what about you? What do you think?
You could do 2. I'm just kidding. Those are good too. So Colson Montgomery, he had 55 RBIs in 71 games.
Crazy.
So that would, if he stayed healthy and you have that be a whole season, there's 100 RBIs right there. Fangraphs projects 30 homers for Murakami.
Okay.
So that could happen. Braden played only 34 games in AA last year, performed well in the AFL, the Arizona Fall League. When we're in Arizona, I mean, the whole time we're going to be watching Braden. I mean, that's going to be one of the many subplots, big stories is going to be when's he going to make it to the major league. So, it's funny. You can choose more than one. I was having fun with you. No, do 2. Whatever. There are no rules on this podcast. No, I mean, I was going to say just choose one, but these are all, again, possible. I would say Colson to get 100. You can't just snap your fingers and you get 100 RBIs.
No,
so
it's true.
I'll go Murakami 30 home runs.
I like that one. They're all very doable. These are lukewarm takes because they could very much happen here.
Yes.
I think Braden, especially given the state of where the White Sox outfield is right now and what Braden can do at the plate. Switch hitter. I mean, we saw what he did last year. That's why I just feel confident. Like you said, all eyes are going to be on him out in Arizona at spring training.
All right, so these hot takes were about 90 degrees, 85 to 90 degrees. They're hot. I mean, you go outside, it's 85 to 90, it's hot.
It's hot.
Up next, we've got a 150-degree hot take. Scorching hot take. Like, you might as well be on the planet Mercury for this one because Bologna Sandwich, who has always delivered for these podcasts.
Bologna Sandwich.
He delivers or she delivers. I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. This is his or hers. We'll just call him a his. I don't know. We celebrate, this is him talking, both a Bears Super Bowl and a White Sox World Series title in 2026. That is quite the hot take. And not only is he saying it, he's putting his money where his mouth is. He made a bet, a 2-pick parlay. The Bears right now, as we sit here, are plus 2,000 to win the Super Bowl. That is a 20-1 odd situation. And then the White Sox to win the World Series, they're plus 50,000. That's 500 to 1.
Yeah.
So all told, that's plus 1,052,000. He made a $10 bet. It's 10,000 to 1. He made a $10 bet. If the Bears win the Super Bowl and the White Sox win the World Series, it'll pay bologna sandwich $105,210.
You know what? $10. Why not? Why not put $10 on the team? If you're watching the Bears right now, which I know everybody that listens to this podcast probably is, they very much could win the Super Bowl. The way that they are able to come back in these games, you saw what Caleb Williams has done. So why not? Now the White Sox, realistically, do I think they're going to win the World Series in 2026? No, but there is a chance.
Maybe. There's a chance. There's a slight chance. So many things have to go right. And there are still moves for them to make this offseason. I'm not sure they'd be the moves that would win them a World Series. But if you think about a $10 bet and you could receive a winning, you could receive money that you could put for a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
For a $10 bet. I hear what you're saying. You might as well make the bet and see what happens. Yeah, $10.
Should we put a $10 bet down? Should we go along with them and put a? Well, no, we can't do that. We work for the team.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. Sorry, we're not doing that.
But bologna sandwich can, and he's not the only one.
We're here with you. Yeah.
We got 𝗭𝗏, who put $13 down for a White Sox bet to win the AL Central. Right now they're at plus 8,000 on DraftKings. That'll pay $1,053 to win the AL Central.
I like this one a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think there is an actual chance here. Like you said, a lot of things got to go the right way. I think our rotation, these young arms, the guys that we acquired, I think they got to step up. I think if 𝗻𝗏 can stay healthy, if he is going to be on the team, I think, if these young guys, if they perform well, I think there's a chance. We saw what they were able to do in the second half of the season, Chuck. If they can make this a whole season, then I think that's very doable.
So we have seen in the past, even the recent past, there have been teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks who would lose 100 games, Kansas City Royals, and all of a sudden it clicks, and if they don't win the division, it's August and September, and they're in the conversation.
Right.
And if you put down a $10 bet on the White Sox to win the AL Central, and that is a scenario, you can always maybe cash out, make a little bit of money.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. No, you can. You just got to keep an eye on it. You can always cash out early, get ahead while you can. But I think if you're looking at the division, there are some teams that I can see them jumping. But then you have the Tigers, Kansas City. They're always in the mix. I mean, it's going to be the Guardians,
the Twins seem to be a team that has taken a step back.
Yeah,
but Guardians, Royals, the White Sox have struggled big time against these two teams head to head, and the Tigers obviously are a great team too. So. We'll see, but that's why if you make a $10 bet and you can make this kind of money in the situation the White Sox are in.
We give you a thumbs up.
Okay.
That's a good bet.
And then we got John. He says, I have a bet in Vegas that the White Sox will make the playoffs. The odds are high, but why not? So
we love that.
Yeah, we got
why not?
All right. So all this optimism. We got one more optimistic here, and then I see something coming up a little bit later on in our little conversation that's negative, but that's okay. We got to talk about it. Ben Shanahan. Caleb Williams throws the first pitch on opening day, and the White Sox win with a 5 spot in the 9th. Now,
I love that.
Let's look at the schedule. Opening day's in Milwaukee, so we'll call it the home opener.
Okay, yeah.
Because Caleb Williams isn't throwing out the first pitch in Milwaukee after what he did to the Packers.
I don't think he can step foot.
No. But when they face the Blue Jays, April 2nd, home opener, Caleb throws out the first pitch. Sox win with a 5 spot in the 9th. Jeff Hoffman is the closer for the Blue Jays, and he gave up the game-tying home run to Miguel Rojas in Game 7 of the World Series. He blew 7 saves last year. So, Ben, Brooke, this could happen.
It could happen. And the White Sox, they did good. They got hot right off the bat to start the season last year. So I think that could be a possibility. Now, the Blue Jays, they're not a team to be reckoned with, but you went through, what happened last season. So I like it. I think, especially with Caleb Williams, Iceman being there,
Yeah.
the vibes are high. Maybe he gives like a little pregame speech in the clubhouse to really rally the guys, I like it.
Yeah. I want Ben Johnson to give a pregame speech
Yeah.
for the White Sox. I'm not saying Will can't, but like those are amazing speeches he's been giving.
He's clearly doing something right in the locker room to rally these guys. So I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they ask him to come. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Come on down to the
Come
south
on
side.
down to Wright
All right.
Field.
So we got Eric Hoy. Here's his hot take. Another 100-loss season
No.
for the White Sox. No. You're saying no. He can't have that opinion?
You can have your opinion, but I'm saying no. That's not going to happen.
All right. Well, here's the deal. Now, we assume that a lot of guys are going to, if not take a step forward, at least be who they were last year. Talking about the young guys.
Yes.
But what if some guys take a step back, which could happen?
The sophomore slump.
The
is a
sophomore
thing.
slump. Who is going to be the closer? There still are a lot of questions. What if Murakami isn't the guy who we hope he will be?
Health issues.
So things can go backwards or at least be the same as it was. I mean, we are trying to be optimistic here, but I want to be optimistic here, but I also know that this is a team that, only won 60 games last year. So is there a scenario where they lose 100 games for the fourth year in a row? Yes.
But what do you say?
I say, no effing way.
Yes. We love that. Love the positivity.
But
No,
it could. But can it happen? Yes, they could lose 100. But it's baseball. A lot of things can happen.
Yes.
But the team that I'm looking at, the team that I'm covering, and I know, I don't see that happening. But this is Eric's hot take. Another 100-loss season. Mr. Positive.
I know. Come on, Eric.
I know. But listen, they went 2-11 against the Guardians, 3-10 against the Royals. They got to do better against those teams for sure, because I've got that in my notes here. So they got to be better against the AL Central. If they can flip that, not flip it, but certainly play 500 in the AL Central, there's a lot of games against those guys. This team will not lose 100 games.
Do you think which guy, and this is kind of off topic here, when we're talking about the sophomore slump, which guy do you feel more confident or most confident in that's going to take that next step this season?
The next step.
Yeah.
Let me think about
They have
this.
a lot of rookies last year.
I know. There's a lot. I'm going through them all.
Yeah.
And then there's a case to be made for all of them.
Right.
Like Edgar Caro could be better. Teal, obviously. Montgomery, he was incredible, but he also had a lot of strikeouts. But he blew me away with his defense. I didn't think he was going to be that good defensively. Yeah. So who's got a lot of room to like really take a big jump? Grant Taylor?
Oh.
Grant Taylor.
Taking it to the mound. I like that.
Yeah. I think Grant Taylor, because he has the stuff, but he was erratic at times.
Yeah.
And I think if he cleans some things up, and I think there was actually a hot take coming for him. I'll say Grant Taylor.
Okay, I like that. And imagine guys having a full off season, right? They're trying to adjust to the big league level last year, and the fact that they were able to excel the way that they did. Now I'm feeling good about it. And how about 𝗂 potentially playing for Team Italy real quick?
I think
in the
he
World
will.
Baseball
I think
Classic?
he is.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if it's already in the cards, I think he's going to be playing. And here's another one. How about Miguel Vargas taking another step?
Yes. Well, and he kind of emerged, after talking to Will and some of the coaching staff, like he emerged as a big leader and a big voice in that clubhouse. And not to say that he wasn't before, but, down the stretch, especially when the team kind of started to believe that, hey, we belong, like we are those guys. It was kind of cool to see him, emerge as one of those guys in the room.
All right. Here's a hot take from Bez Lama. He or she predicts a 500 record. Miguel Vargas has 30 or more bombs, as does Murakami, Robert, and Montgomery.
All those guys?
Brooke, if all of those guys have 30 or more home runs, this team will be definitely competing for the American League Central.
They would all be tested for steroids or something.
That could happen, though.
They would be like, what's going? No, it could happen because these guys, they have the power. We saw the potential. We saw Vargas when he's hot. He can produce. And Murakami, we were just talking about him.
Yeah.
Very doable. He's the heavy bat in that lineup. Montgomery, especially. I think it's I don't think they're all going to get 30-plus homers, but I think the production could be up for all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Vargas had 16 homers last year. Robert had 14. I'll say this. If Robert has, say, 14 homers at the deadline, he's traded.
Yeah,
he's traded. He'll be, I mean, teams will want him badly, and they'll probably give the White Sox what they want if he has that kind of season.
Because if he's putting up 14 homers in about halfway point of the season, he's back to Robert form.
I looked at the odds here. This is on DraftKings. Murakami, odds of him having the most home runs in the majors, okay?
Okay.
So Judge is at plus 350. That's top. Murakami's plus 10,000. Colson Montgomery's plus 15,000. So they are not considered favorites. But this is what I found really interesting, according to DraftKings. Both of those guys are ahead of Corey Seager, Giancarlo Stanton, Vinny Pasquantino, Spencer Torkelson, Cody Bellinger, PCA. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
That says a lot.
That says a lot.
Again, I mean, I think you saw what Colson Montgomery did down this once he got called up. I mean, the guy, you couldn't stop him. He was hot. And so I think having a full off season where he's able to continue to mature his approach and he's kind of feeling himself a little bit. I mean, especially against over PCA. He's the darling here in the city.
Maybe the darling's going to be on the south side next season. I don't know.
I love that.
Well, I mean, listen, the Cubs are going to have a good team for sure, but maybe the White Sox can be a little more competitive, get a little more publicity. I'd like to see more publicity.
Hey, we're doing our best to give some pub here.
Yeah, I got a little mad actually on the air at one of our shows last year because I felt like there was not enough attention being paid in the city to what Colson was doing.
Right.
And
I agree with that.
Yeah, and he was kind of like flying way under the radar, so I wanted to give him some pub.
Talking about some pub, the fact that we have Mooney on our team, the Japanese media, I mean, you've been able to experience that. Explain to people the difference of just like and what that can do coverage-wise for a team having an international player like that on your team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal for the White Sox because he is so popular in Japan. There's going to be a lot of attention paid to him, just like they are for Seiya Suzuki on the north side.
Right.
So there's just going to, I mean, we've seen a handful of, not even a handful, less than a handful of Japanese players on the White Sox. But whenever they've been here, 𝗭𝚻 Fukudome was only here for a little bit. But I mean, with Tadahito Oguchi and Shingo Takatsu, you know, the Japanese media will be here on a daily basis covering Murakami. So we'll see what happens. And he is, if not the most popular player coming from Japan. I mean, obviously Shohei is in his class by himself, but when he played in Japan last year, he was one of the most, if not the most popular player in Japan as a hitter. So now he's on the Sox. So that's exciting. Speaking of which, Southside Irish 99. Mm-hmm. The hot take is this: Murakami slashes 268, 384, 578 with an OPS of 962, 32 home runs, 147 strikeouts. I was expecting more than that.
Yeah.
And he's the unanimous AL Rookie of the Year. That is Southside Irish 99. Hot take from him.
I think there's a possibility he could win Rookie of the Year. I mean, they don't really care about strikeouts, right? Like, as long as you're hitting the bombs and the numbers they're flashing and you're producing and you're making the impact, I think he could. What do you think?
Okay, so, to piggyback on what you said, I mean, 𝗏𝗏, Schwarber, these guys strike out close to 200 times or more. So you can have the strikeouts. If he has an on-base percentage of 384 and he has an OPS of 962, that is elite.
Yeah.
That is elite. I would pump the brakes on that. Don't have those expectations, but that's a hot take. That's a hot take.
These are hot.
And so I looked at the current odds for winning the American League Rookie of the Year, and Murakami is second.
Okay. So it's not too hot.
Plus 380. 𝗵cie Savage is plus 290.
Okay.
Hagen Smith, by the way, plus 5,000. Noah Schultz plus 7,500.
It's usually okay. Noah Schultz. When do you think we'll see Noah Schultz, though? That's the
question. I don't know. That is a big question. Nobody knows. I mean, he and Hagen had, I would say, they did not take steps forward enough for us to be like, yeah, they're going to make the team opening day.
Right.
Schultz had a little knee issue at the end of the year. I think they go into spring training with like, okay, let's see where you're at.
Yeah.
But chances are they're starting in the minor leagues. And how will they perform in the minor leagues? Then that will dictate when, I don't want to say if it could be an if, but they should be in a position where they are knocking, if not banging on the door for the major leagues in 2026. But to say when, I have no idea.
No, it's a good question. And to qualify for, to reach the numbers in which you need to get Rookie of the Year award, he's going to have to get called up kind of early, right? Or we saw with Paul Skeens, and Paul Skeens was like insane.
You can be called up in June and win. You can.
You have to be super efficient, though.
Yes,
yeah?
and yes. We've seen it in the past. It would help if they were here in April.
Right.
But if I'm them, and I'm assuming this is what their attitude is going into the season, you look at the White Sox Major League rotation, there are some openings.
Yeah. Well, and Will talked about it. He's like, we're embracing. We want guys to compete for their spot. Because I think, to your point, he knows that there's a lot of movement that could happen throughout the year. They know certain guys are knocking out the door because there were guys that were even injured that spring training that we were expecting to potentially make the opening day roster. So there's a lot of guys that could make an appearance this year.
Yeah. They have some of the best stuff, if not the best stuff, in the entire organization.
Yes.
Some of the best stuff in the majors. So you put it all together, they could be here. So another big thing we're going to be talking about in spring training, like how they do.
Right.
We're going to be busy.
Yes, we are.
I love it. Here's one from Adrian White, who writes great stuff for Future Sox. This will show you that Adrian is a tad dialed in with the White Sox. And I'm saying this is a compliment because this is a die-hard round of hot takes from Adrian.
These are.
Okay? And we can touch on this because Brooke and I, we are die-hard White Sox reporters here. Okay?
We sure are.
So he says, by the 4th of July, Braden Montgomery, Sam Antonacci, Tanner McDougal are all up and contributing. That seems possible.
Yes.
That seems possible.
That. Sam Antonacci, I think a lot of people... if you're dialed in,
yes, everybody
knows of Sam Antonacci and the impact that he can have. We talked about what he's done at the Arizona Fall League. But a lot of people just, I think, kind of forget about him. But they really like Sam Antonacci. He's an impact type of player. I think he very much could be up early on. Okay, so then he also has Christian Opper and Jaden 𝗏 becoming top 100 prospects in midseason. So Opper... I like Opper. Yeah, he's... I like all these guys, but yes. Yes. 𝗏 was a second-round pick last year for the White Sox. He's got Alexander Alberto becoming the closer, Blake Larson, a breakout prospect, and Carson Jacobs called up by September. So Opper had 116 strikeouts in 87 innings in low A and high A. He's 21 years old. 𝗏 went to Nazareth Academy. I'm assuming he's starting in Kannapolis. Could they be top 100 prospects? I think so. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Yeah. I think. Why not? But I guess I've seen Opper play. I've barely seen 𝗏. I've just seen videos of him in high school. Well, with Alberto too, like moving on to that next one, I think because given where the closer situation is, I think they are in the hunt for a guy. We talked about Grant Taylor possibly being that guy who was by committee last season. Alberto was able to that's a Rule 5 pick from the Rays. Yeah. Throws 100. Yeah. So, I think he very much could be that guy. There's a reason why they picked him up. We've had success with Rule 5 guys. Yes. So you never know. Blake Larson, second-round pick in 2024. He had Tommy John surgery last year. He was on my radar going into last season, then he got Tommy John. But could he be a breakout prospect? Yes. And then Carson Jacobs. This guy's 6'9". He's a reliever. He had a really good AFL. He could be called up in September. If you are this is like the same thing as last year. Yeah, yeah. If you're in the minor leagues, this sounds familiar because we were talking about this. Yeah. Bo Jackson told us this. He talked to the minor leaguers at spring training last year, and he goes, guys, if I'm you, I'm thinking I have a chance to make it to the major leagues. Yeah. And your attitude should be that the door is open, and that's going to be the same thing this year. Look about the amount of call-ups that we had last year, the guys that were sent up and down, and the new faces, I couldn't keep up. We jokingly, we would walk into the clubhouse. We're like, Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's with us today. But given the state of where the White Sox are, like if you're in the minor leagues, this is such a cool opportunity because it gives you an idea like, oh yeah, I could, if I perform, I very much could be at the big league level. So, and then you're getting advice from Bo Jackson too. Like,
Yeah.
Listen to Bo Jackson.
Yeah. And I think they did.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got good stuff there from Adrian White. Southside boys. The White Sox will come out strong to start the season. We haven't seen that in a long time, by the way. That has to change. And play 500 ball in both April and May. All right, last year in April, the White Sox, actually in March, they were 2-2.
I was going to say, they had a slight, a little slight start.
Yes, okay, slight, very small.
Yeah.
But then they went 5-21 in April. They
Yeah,
went
that was rough.
11-17 in May. And I looked at the schedule, Southside boys. They have a 4-game series in Kansas City in April. And if you've watched me on pre- and post-game shows, I kind of die a little bit inside during those series. I do not do well when the White Sox are in Kansas City. They have 3 West Coast road trips in April and May. I've never seen this before, ever.
The benefit of playing on the West Coast, especially when it's so cold,
Oh, the weather.
the weather.
So that might help them.
A lot of guys, I remember talking to a lot of guys in the clubhouse last year, and I think they were saying people underestimate what it's like playing in the cold weather. Ball doesn't come off the bat the same. I mean, your joints, everything. I mean, it's a different type. Not making excuses.
No,
but
this is a thing. It's real.
But when you're playing on the West Coast, it's a little warmer. It could time zone change, yeah, but could make a difference.
And last year we were saying this was one of the coldest early schedules we had seen with the White Sox in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Their only warm
Their
only warm location that they played, if you want to call it warm, in the first month was Sacramento, which isn't really, warm,
It's better than what it was.
but better.
It was
That's all.
cold.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
For the first month. So this is all right, Southside boys. This could happen.
It could.
Yeah.
I'm a believer here.
And they have 3 games at home against the Cubs in May. So it's
It's a rivalry.
There's
series.
some stuff
There we go.
happening there.
Okay.
all right. Sox fan Jake, his hot take: after signing Drew Romo, one of the 3 catchers are going to get traded. That's Teal, Caro, Lee. And he says potentially Edgar Caro to the Phillies for Justin Crawford. Crawford is seemingly the future center fielder for the Phillies. Your thoughts, Brooke?
It's interesting. When I read it, I thought, I had a little like head tilt moment. I think when you have a guy like Edgar Caro and also Kyle Teal, he's at the advantage right now. These are 2 guys. Kyle Teal, obviously the Red Sox, they reached out to him again because they saw the production that he had. Chris Getz has the advantage right now. You have 2 catchers that are desired. They produce at the plate. They're controllable. I don't think you trade either of those guys. I think you continue with both of them. But you do have young guys, right? Like, so Lee, what do you think about Lee?
So, I like Corey Lee.
Yeah.
And I think Corey Lee, I thought that last year he was going to be given a shot to play more. He got hurt, right? He got hurt.
He got hurt.
And then he got sent down, and he never got a chance to come back up and really perform because you had Teal and Caro here.
Yeah, he's kind of the vet guy.
So he feels like the odd man out in this situation.
Right.
What does that mean? What that means to me as I kind of look into the future, and spring training is going to happen, and all 3 will be here, and there will come, the rubber is going to meet the road. Actually, and Drew Romo, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
The rubber is going to meet the road with these 4 catchers. And at some point in spring training, I'm agreeing with Sox fan Jake. And I'm not saying this is a hot take. I think this is a very realistic thing.
I think so.
One of them is getting traded, and the third, so it's either going to be Romo or Lee, and the other one will end up in AAA.
I like that. I agree.
Or you might have a situation where none of them get traded and your AAA catchers are Romo and Lee. But the reason why I say one of them gets traded, because if you have depth like that,
Right.
And other teams, I mean, catchers, like...
You need catchers.
You need catchers. Someone's going to need one of these guys.
Right, especially coming out of spring training. When you're trying to construct these rosters, they're going to need need depth. And depth at the catcher position is so hard to come by. So I'm with you. And Lee, he can produce at the plate too.
Yeah.
Great clubhouse guy.
Yes.
So, yeah, you never know. But I don't think Teal or Caro are going anywhere. I would be shocked.
I would be really surprised. Yeah. All right, 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗶𝗹 says, I can see a time in 2026 where they possibly have a full rotation of rookies starting.
Whoa.
Now, this is a hot take. 5 rookie starters. Now, this is what he says, and he explains it. He goes, Mason Adams, Drew Thorpe, Hagen Smith, Noah Schultz, Tanner McDougal. So this would be later in the year because a couple of these guys are coming off Tommy John. That's Adams and Thorpe.
Right.
And he goes, this would obviously be if Shane Smith were to have to go on an IL stint, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, but just in case. But here's what I like about what Demo did. Demo took my little hot take tweet to heart, and I have a feeling like Demo was like really thinking about it. Really thinking about it. And that's what I like about White Sox fans. You guys really think about it because you can't just like off the top of your head like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to come up with this 5 rookie starters. He really thought about this. So I like this hot take. I don't want Shane Smith to get hurt, but more of the point is that the White Sox might have, a full. Well, hold on a second. Is Drew Thorpe a rookie though? He wouldn't be a rookie.
No, I don't think so.
Because he pitched in 24.
Yeah. But we get where you're coming from.
Yes.
Because we were like what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Guys knocking at the door. Guys that were injured. Drew Thorpe, Mason Adams. Guys that are looking for an opportunity here. So if there are injuries or if guys aren't performing how, we would hope that, that's our whole rotation.
And then what about Davis Martin? What about Jonathan Cannon?
Right.
What happened to Sean Burke?
I mean,
what happened to Anthony Kay?
That's
a disaster.
Yeah, Newcomb. We got Sean Newcomb that
Demo.
is gonna have an opportunity.
What were you thinking? I'm joking.
Become a starter. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's happening either.
I think we could see maybe 3. Maybe.
Okay, so
3?
Smith, Schultz, McDougal, Thorpe. They say you need you want to have like 8 to 12 starters at least, who you're going to need at some point. I don't know. It's interesting.
Or if they get some time, like if they call like Hagen or Noah up, like just for, a series or something and then send them back down. Or I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
And also they're going to be watching Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz's innings.
Yeah.
Maybe they piggyback with another starter and they're only doing like 3 innings at a time.
Didn't we saw that a little bit at spring training last year.
Maybe we'll see. That could happen.
Yeah.
All right.
We like the creative juices, they're flowing. You got us thinking.
Well done, Demo.
But
I have a feeling that Davis Martin, Jonathan Cannon, and Sean Burke and Shane Smith hate this hot take. They're not happy with Demo. So just if you ever see them, they might have some words for you.
But the fact that Will said that they're embracing competition, how do you read that?
I read it as, hey, it's all kumbaya. We're a great team, but we want to win.
Yeah.
And the best players, the players playing the best, they will get the innings. They will get the starts. And if you do not perform, you're going to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Which is good. Good competition. Speaking of good, Goodbine 56. All right. Someone's very positive.
85.
85 to 95 wins. And a big word. He's got a great vocabulary. He says a surreptitious jump. It's a certificate.
I'm Googling it.
I know this word.
Why do you have to be so fancy?
It's messing me up when I see it.
Kept secret, especially because it would not be approved of. How about it's just
I know the word. I just can't pronounce it. Surreptitious.
Words are hard.
What is this word?
We're just gonna.
Is there a
secret jump under?
Well, no, it's
surreptitious.
Surreptitious. Yeah.
It says kept secret, especially because it would not be approved of.
But no, yes.
Stealthy,
but
if
no,
you will.
the stealth. Yeah, the
Stealthy.
word is right. It's just well beyond the education levels of Brooke and me to be able to pronounce
what?
it.
We can't be perfect at everything, okay, Chuck?
Yes. We can't be perfect at everything. You said we or me? We. Yeah, we cannot. Exactly.
We.
You would
Goodbye's
think, though,
trying
a
to throw
couple of
us off.
sportscasters would be able to read the English language.
Because it is our job
It is our, but
to read things.
I have a limit on the amount of vocabulary words I either
Right.
A, use, or B, comprehend.
Exactly.
And that was well beyond my comprehension.
Good for you.
So goodbye in 56.
We're gonna throw that in.
We'll just
some
say
of our reports.
we'll say 85-95 wins with a big jump.
Big jump.
Big
Stealthy
jump under wiley Will and his new staff. Okay, and this is when Goodbine speaks more like Sox fans. He goes, not effing around in year 2. Not effing around.
I do agree with that. I think the moves that they made this offseason, the fact that they were able to spend some money, I think it showed that they have an idea of the direction that they want to go and that they aren't messing around in year 2. I think Will last year, we had an opportunity to talk to him, in our meetings and stuff, and we kind of saw him grow as a manager. I think he was still trying to kind of feel things out a little bit, find his voice like anybody would in that position. So I think year 2, he's feeling confident. He feels like he's got, ownership. He's got the front office. Everybody's backing him. Like, I think he's like, okay, let's freaking go. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. I'm not with you yet on 85-95 wins.
Yeah.
There's also still more moves to be made this offseason. We will do a preseason prediction podcast like we always do here on the pod. We'll do that in spring training. I'll have a better idea at that point. But I mean, do we all agree that this is going in the right direction? Yes.
Yes. 85-95 wins is ambitious.
That's you know what that is? That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take.
That is why we're here.
And they won only 60 games last year. The over-under right now for the Sox is 67.5.
Ooh. Okay.
They put that in a real good spot, actually, because that's
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I think
too.
that might have been my prediction, when we did the
prediction
spring training
podcast.
thing. Yeah, I think I might have said 67
for last year. So right now it's at 67.5.
I was looking into the future. That's
you
what
were.
It was.
Okay. Did you think I asked you the question for the 2026 season?
No. Yeah, exactly. Screw this season, Brooke. How about next year?
All right. Well, here's a hot take.
Okay.
Jack Schmidt, your hot take is this. The real Luis Robert Jr. arrives. So, listen.
Define the real.
Let's say the one from 2023.
Okay.
Because that should, you know what? That's a great question, Brooke, because you could argue.
Is the real.
Yeah, because you could argue, is the real Luis Robert Jr. the last 2 seasons? Or is he the one from 2023 that was an all-star?
Exactly. What do you think?
By him saying he arrives,
yes.
I'm led to believe that Jack thinks
Yeah.
the guy from 2023 is going to arrive.
I agree.
Yeah, because it's not a hot take necessarily to say he's going to be like what he was the last 2 seasons. That's not that hot. That's not a hot take. That's he did it again.
Right, exactly.
So for him to find who he was 2 years ago, that's a hot take.
I agree. I think now, do we see him get back to 2023 form? I don't know if he can get fully back there, but compared to last year, I think he's going to be better than Louis that we saw last season. I think we saw him buy in a little bit more. He connected with the guys in the clubhouse. I think he got, it was inconsistent. Obviously, he was dealing with injuries here, but I think he seemed like he got a better idea of his approach at the plate. I think having an off season to really focus on that.
Yeah.
And again, I think he sees there's buy-in with this team now. I think he sees that there's a direction and there's hope and I think belief in that clubhouse. I think that, yeah. Now, do I think he's fully going to get there? I don't know. But I think closer to that, yes, I can buy that.
All right, here's what I see.
Okay.
As I'm thinking about it as you're talking. And Jack Schmidt, I agree with you. I think, I believe that the real Luis Robert Jr. will arrive this season. I'll explain why.
I think I know why.
Okay. Oh, you think you know why? Can you read my mind, Brooke
Maybe.
Fletcher? So here's what I saw. When Coulson came up, gave him some protection.
Yeah.
Kyle Teal was playing well. And if you look at look at Luis Robert Jr.'s numbers in the second half last year, 800 OPS.
Yeah.
That he was looking like that guy, then he got hurt. So here's what I think is going to happen. Chuck Garfien, 𝗏𝗏𝘃 sportscaster. The real Luis Robert Jr. will arrive. And by the way, we had this. Scott Boras said this on the podcast at the winter meetings that Robert has been training. He's a Boras client now. He's been training with Boras's people in Florida, not only on his hit tool, on his ability to stay healthy. He's doing this in the off season in Florida. So I think he is going to come back and be that guy. But will he stay healthy? That, to me, is going to be the big one for him. And I cannot say right here, right now, he's going to stay healthy. But I do believe that he will have a better year and be more like the guy from 23 when he's on the field.
No, that's
my hot take.
That's a fair question. And also, too, you know, the amount of times that he was asked about, are you thinking about being traded? Is that something that's looming? And we talk about the mental aspect of the game.
It's going to be going on again.
It's going to be going on again. So is that going to be a factor? And we don't also even know if that was the reason why, you know, he was struggled a little bit last season before he got hot like you did. So, but I think we're on the same page. I think we all think that he's going to be performing well.
Okay. Mike Walsh. Before we get to Mike Walsh, we got like four left. Mike Walsh, 4609. He says his hot take is the White Sox will be in the running for the AL wild card. Colson Montgomery receives MVP votes.
Ooh.
That's a hot take. Colson Montgomery MVP votes. So for that to happen, he needs to hit about 30 home runs, drive in about 100. And, you know, listen, I'm going to keep it real here on the pod. Another hot take could have been that Colson Montgomery struggles.
Yeah.
Because, and this is nothing against Colson Montgomery, that's just the reality of Major League Baseball, the sophomore situation. Guys don't always just, you know, do it again the next year. They sometimes regress and struggle. That could happen to him.
And it's also a thing, too, that I've kind of thought about is, you know, this is your first off season after playing Major League Baseball. How do you handle that off season? How are you coming off the high of your rookie year? Are you going back to work? Or, you know, it's just a different preparation than when you were preparing at the minor league level. So, yeah, are you going to suffer the sophomore slump? I don't know. I think it is fair. It's a fair question. I think we're going to see Colson just continue to build off of it. I think he's just his confidence, just his understanding of his swing. I think hitting with Ryan Fuller, I think something just clicked, and we see that a lot of times with guys. So MVP
votes, not win the MVP.
Oh, votes. Yes. First, I think so. Are there do you have the odds with? Is there? Or
I didn't look it up.
I'm
want
curious.
me to look it up? I can look it up, but I also want to say this because, and this will actually circle back to you and your brother-in-law, Gordon Beckham.
Ooh.
So I brought up the whole hot take idea of Colson struggling. But the reason why I don't think he will struggle, like, to an extent that it's like, wow, he just is a shell of his former self, is that he went through something that Gordon didn't. Right? Gordon went straight, he flew through the minor leagues. He has an amazing high school and college career. He never slumped, big time slumped. He had to figure it out at the major league level, which is impossible to do.
Yeah.
Colson, he went into the mental abyss and had to go all the way to Arizona. So if he was to struggle again like that in the major leagues, he has something he can fall back on that worked for him. Gordon had none of that. No. Gordon was talking to Paul Konerko and asking Paul what to do. Yeah. And that was not the best situation for him.
And no, I mean, that's a good point. And Gordon would even talk to you about that. Yeah. Struggling at the big league level. And we talk about baseball. Baseball, it's mental, like the mental aspect and the mental grind of the game. And, I remember talking to Colson about that last year of just like the benefit of actually going through that at the minor league level and what that did for him. And experiencing failure, you grow from it, you learn from that adversity. And to your point, I think he's going to he's going to continue just to build on the success that he had.
There's a bet you can make on Colson Montgomery for MVP.
What are the odds?
I was almost certain he would not be on here. He is here. He's plus 15,000, so he's 150 to 1. Luis Robert Jr. plus 10,000.
What?
Stephen Kwan plus 9,000. Garrett Crochet's plus 7,000. Trout's 8,000. Jackson Holiday 7,000. Tariq Skubal 5,000.
Okay.
So, it's
in the mix, but
but the fact that he's listed there as an MVP candidate.
Okay, talk about getting the recognition.
Played half a season.
We saw what he was.
Not even half a season.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Jason Hunt. Jason, White Sox will make the AL wild card with 85 wins, and Colson and Kyle Teal will be all-stars.
Okay. 2 parts. Colson and Kyle all-stars. Yes.
Yes.
I say yes.
Okay.
I very much think that could happen. 85 wins, that's ambitious, but...
That's an improvement of 25 wins.
Yes. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think if as I look into next season and I think of what is the most possible wins this team could have, I would say the most possible is 85. Like that is the ceiling.
That's the ceiling.
I would not make that prediction, but that's if everything or almost everything goes right for this team.
100%.
That would seem
realistic. I think low 70s.
Yeah.
I
right now, as we sit here right now, this seems like I could go to 80.
You could.
I could go to spring training. Let's circle back on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I could
Noted.
go to 80. Yeah.
We're clipping this off. But Colson and Kyle very much could see them. I mean, what Kyle was able to do at the plate last season, the production, he had, I very much could see him as it.
They're on the radar.
They're on the radar.
They're on our radar. They're on the radar of teams, fans from other teams, other cities. So I could see that happening. Shane Smith could make it. Murakami could make it.
Middle infield's tough, though, for Colson.
Yeah, there's only so many spots.
Right.
There's some token additions that end up happening. So,
exactly.
Okay. Last one. Rob Castanoli, his hot take is the White Sox will draw 200, excuse me. See, I'm not smart. I'm not smart. I'm
we jinxed ourselves.
I'm pretty dumb over here.
No, you're not.
They will draw 2 million fans or more.
Do you have numbers?
I have numbers.
Okay.
I can give you some perspective
yes.
here. Okay. So last year they drew 1.4 million.
Oh.
Okay. In 2024, 1.3 million. But here is the thing about White Sox fans. You give them a reason to believe in the team, they will show up.
They will come.
They will come. So in 2022, coming off a division title, they had over 2 million fans in 2022. In 2021, they would have had over 2 million fans, but because of pandemic restrictions for the first few months, they could only have 17,000 fans a game. So they did not reach 2 million, but they would have. In 2019, a lot of people are comparing this season to what 2019 was, which was okay, this is essentially the team. We're going to add free agents in the offseason, but here's our team with the young guys, and they only drew 1.6 million. This feels like a 1.8 million season for the Sox to me.
1.8?
But if they start winning in April and May, because I know this fan base, you give them a team to believe in and they show up and they're playing well and they're winning in April and May, they will start buying tickets for June, July, August, and then we're talking about the possibility of 2 million fans.
If they believe, they will come.
Yes.
And I think the belief is there. I think, to your point, if they win, they're going to show up. But I think they've bought into Colson Montgomery, these young stars.
Murakami now.
Yeah, guys want to see him.
Here's the thing with Murakami, and this is I don't know if you brought it up or I just brought it up, but this is the key for all of this. There is a unicorn thing happening with him. There's a curiosity factor. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Sox fans are very curious about him, and if and people have their own lives, they're following the Bears, whatever it might be, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, and they're not everyone's dialed in with Murakami. Although everywhere I go, people are asking me about him. But what's going to happen is when April or even spring training rolls around, and then if he starts hitting home runs and those end up in people's social media feeds, then people are like, oh, I got to see this.
Yep.
So that could give you another bump for attendance.
The way you're able to market him, and I think that, I mean, as much as you want to talk about what happened, not you, just anybody in general, that what they can do on the field, but there is a marketing aspect, and that's what draws people out. And the fact, like, he's, to your point, people are curious. We haven't had a Japanese player in quite some time, and especially one that we've invested in.
A power hitter, too.
A power hitter. And so the fact that, you know, if he could reach the potential that we all hope he can, it's gonna be huge for the
Sox haven't had anyone close to this, actually, or the Cubs, because the Cubs, I mean, Seiya Suzuki, I wouldn't say he's like a power hitter.
Yeah.
He hits home runs.
Yeah.
The White Sox have had a good defensive, Taito Iguchi wasn't a power hitter. Shingo Takatsu was a closer. This is a power hitter. Like,
and they're fun.
Exciting.
If they're like
fun. Yeah, and he's got a fun personality too.
Right. If the guys they're fun to watch, if they're winning ugly or whatever the case may be, like, people will want to they want to come out. Also, giveaways help too. We had some really good giveaways last year.
Yes. I have a feeling they'll be good again this year.
I think so too.
Yeah. So those are the hot takes. Thank you everybody for these hot takes.
Yes.
I love them. I love when I bring in the fans to hear what you guys are thinking. And so I'll do an Ask Me Anything podcast coming up in a little bit. Are we good on time, Saul? We're good? Okay. Did you want to share a story at all or no? Are you good?
Yeah. I mean, what kind of story do you want me to share?
I don't know. We were talking before we went on here about your,
Well, it was funny, guys, because we were joking before, because this was my first time here in the studio, and we were like, okay, well, wouldn't that be something? I don't know if it'd be funny if we went through this whole entire podcast and then the audio wasn't working. And I said, well, in my young career where I was doing the one-man band thing, Jana Kramer, she's this famous country singer. If you're a fan of country, you know who she is. Came to Auburn, and when I was a student there, and I had an opportunity to interview her. I had my camera, I got on her tour bus, and I did this whole interview, and I was like, this is the best day of my life. Went back to edit, and none of the audio picked up. The worst. Painful. Triple check audio. Thankfully, I don't take the camera around with me now, but I always triple check things because of that. Have you had an incident like that?
So on a much smaller scale, I'm in Traverse City, Michigan. It's my first TV job. And back then, one-man band. I mean, I'm going out there shooting stories with me as the reporter and the camera person. And there'd be times where, one, I would do an interview. I would then set up the camera, do my stand-up, and I'd be like an hour and a half away. I would drive back to the station. I was gone all day. I've got the story ready for the news, and I put the tape in, and the video's blue.
No, blue?
Blue, because you didn't white balance it enough.
Oh, the white balance.
Yeah, and we're in northern Michigan where there's a lot of snow on the ground in the winter, and that messes up the white balance. I had to learn all these things. Or there'd be times where I would record a whole story. I'd be gone all day. I come back, and it just didn't record.
Whatever
it was.
Bad
equipment.
bad
equipment or bad sportscaster. Bad cameraman. So I've had these instances before, but here's the worst story that ever happened for me.
Oh, no.
This involves, well, I don't say who it involves. It doesn't matter. I'm at NBC Sports Chicago. It was Comcast Sports at the time, and this is timely actually, I did an entire story on the Super Bowl Shuffle. All right?
Okay.
I interviewed like 485 Bears from the Super Bowl Shuffle about it, okay?
Okay.
I went to the Park West, which is where they filmed the Super Bowl Shuffle. This is in Lincoln Park. I spent like a week and a half on this thing. It was one of the best stories I've ever done. We promoted it. Got the word out. You got to watch this show. It was like on Sports Night, we called it. That was the show at the time. Here's my Super Bowl Shuffle story. And the night before the story was supposed to air, a phone call came to, I'll just say his name, to Joe Riley, who was an executive here, executive there.
Yeah.
And it's the widow of the man who owned the rights to the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Stop.
And she said, I saw your story you're going to run tomorrow, and I own the rights to that video. And if you want to air that story, you need to pay. And she gave like a massive number.
How much you talking?
Massive number. Big number. Like I think it might have been like $50,000 or $100,000, something huge.
To just run the video?
Just because she owned the rights.
To not even talk about it, just to run the video.
Just to run the video. I mean, I'm not going to do a whole story on the Super Bowl Shuffle and not show the video.
That's insane.
So it never aired. Never aired to this day. And so there was this like, I think there was a documentary that came out about this. And she must have been a part of it because Can we run the interviews? Is there a way to piece it together? How does this tape is gone.
They're just I didn't know if it was like sitting in a file cabinet somewhere. I don't know.
I did this in like 2008. So imagine doing that.
What could have been, Chuck?
What could have been?
Shoot. Man, how much money do you think she's making off of that video? That's the question.
Yeah.
If we know how much just to run it one time.
Yeah. I don't know if she's still doing it, but still doing that. But yeah, that's mine.
She was on it.
She was on it. So I got all sorts of stories I could share about my life and my career, but you know what? For the most part, people don't want to hear that. They just want to hear about the White Sox.
No, we love hearing the stories. Okay. We love the stories. I love hearing the stories.
Well, maybe I'll do story time with Chuck on a future podcast.
Yes.
Oh, is that what the people want?
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's
what
you want?
We'll ask the people.
All right. So, is that what the people want? Story time with Chuck?
Yes.
Oh,
it's like on the side.
I'm thinking about titles already.
Okay.
Our Chuck, his stories.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
Wait, I love that. Did you just come up with that on your own just now?
Our Chuck stories?
I was thinking about it.
Okay.
Our Chuck.
I'm like his nickname, Our Chuck.
Yeah,
Look,
no, I know.
Brooke's into it. So.
All right. Well, if we are running out of ideas for podcasts, and I really hope that never happens, we can do that.
I'm not just pumping your tires. I really think that's a good idea.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
So you would do it with me. You'd have to lead me through it.
People don't know that you're a huge Springsteen fan.
Oh, I have a story or many stories about that.
Exactly. See, people need to get to know our Chuck, his stories.
Okay. All right. So I think it's a wrap.
It is a wrap.
I have nothing more to say. Brooke, it is it great to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me
We'll be doing a bunch in spring training. The season's about to begin. Well, it's not about to begin, but it's getting closer. I feel it getting closer. So that's a wrap for this edition of the White Sox podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening. For Brooke Fletcher, for Saul Rodriguez, behind the scenes, I'm Chuck Garfien. 𝗗cie 𝗿𝗄𝗯, take it away.
All right, Art Chuck, this edition of the White Sox podcast is over.